Turron Davenport, who's been with us all season long, is in Minnesota, and he slips into the hot chair as we get further coverage of this. Turron, welcome, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm really well. How are you guys?
It's been it's been a whirlwind, man. It's been a whirlwind.
Feel like a sardine in here,
yeah,
right?
I'll tell you. It's nuts, isn't it? You know, you've been here for the whole season, and now the culmination is just a couple of days away. You sense that these guys, the moment has caught them at all. You know, you've been around these guys since August.
You know what? The moment hasn't caught them one bit. If you look at how they are in these press conferences, even just seeing them walk around the mall, it's just still the laid-back, relaxed. You know, they're almost like little kids, and that's how they've been all season, whether it be the bowling ball celebrations or the home runs or whatever. You know, they're a group of young fellas that really love each other and play for each other, and they're calm, they're relaxed. It starts from their head coach. I said it on Monday when they came in, and Scott, you saw them. You know, Doug Peterson had jeans and a polo on. Conversely, Bill Belichick, the emperor, right? You know, he had a suit, shirt, and tie. So it just shows you the contrast. And I think from Peterson down, it's just really been a relaxed mindset for them. So they're the same as they've been all year.
They seem confident, too, very confident. Not overly confident, but very confident. When you get to this stage, how important is that to believe you can win this game on Sunday against the evil empires, you said?
I think it's very important, and you can't go out being afraid or getting caught up in the whole mystique of the Patriots. And that's something I like that Corey Graham told me. He said, you know, 9 times out of 10, if you go out there intimidated, you've already lost. So we know what our defense can do. Our goal is to punch them in the mouth immediately. And it just goes back to something Mike Tyson said, you know, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So I think the physical style of football that they play with will give them that confidence to be successful on Sunday.
You know, I think everybody, if you think the Eagles are going to win, it's because their defensive line. And I don't know, do you think that that's primarily the reason why they beat Atlanta and beat the Vikings, that their defensive line was the dominant force in that game, and can they do it again on Sunday? And is that what needs? Because for me, the way the Giants beat them in the 2 Super Bowls was the defensive line won those games.
Right.
So I look at the Eagles' defensive line having to win this game. Yeah,
they have to win it. You look at Fletcher Cox; he has to get that interior pressure. The guys on the outside, when they run that arc, they have to know, you know, to force Brady to step up. And it's almost like a game like when lions are hunting gazelles. Like you have one set that run and make the lion or make the gazelle run this way, and you have another set of lions waiting to pounce on them. And it's the same situation. And if they're able to do that, combined with the guys on the outside, when they go man, it is imperative that they come up on that line and they are disruptive. They cannot allow these receivers to get free releases and get right into their stems, because it's all about timing in their passing game. So you want to get Brady in that pocket, patting the ball, and give your guys time to collapse the pocket on them, and that's how you beat the Patriots.
You were talking earlier, Turron, about Doug Peterson, how relaxed he was. Came out opening night in the jeans and the polo. It's amazing to look at Doug Peterson. Think back to, obviously you've been covering the team a while. When you look back to when he was hired and everybody thinking, did they get the right guy? To where we are now in just 2 seasons. The evolution of Doug Peterson, how impressive has it been?
He still has a bad haircut. 2 years in, he still has a bad haircut.
He's gone from, like, how can I put it, like an all-shucks kind of guy to just a seasoned person in press conferences and just the way he presents everything. And you've just seen him grow, his confidence especially. I think it's outstanding what he's been able to do. Even just with his play calling, just the way that he stuck to that aggressive mindset. Even when everybody was calling him stupid, you know, because he was going for it on 4th and whatever, or going for 2. Now that's something, I mean, we're talking about that now as something that's good. So he's taken everything that has been bad about him, quote unquote, you know, with air quotes, and flipped it into a strength. And that, I think, is a really good sign of a guy who's ready to lead men.
Hey, Turron, give me your thoughts on how the offensive line has played into where they are, because, you know, they had the left guard problem. They finally fixed that. Peters goes down. Once the left guard spot gets fixed, the left tackle goes down. The right side has been pretty solid, but you know, the teams, you know, we talked with Kyle Turley yesterday, and he talked about how, you know, you can't just plug guys in sometimes.
Right.
And the Eagles seemingly had to do that and have got here. It didn't turn into a weakness for them.
The thing that's really interesting to me about the offensive line is the different drops that they take. You know, you have Lane Johnson on the outside. He takes more of a vertical drop, right? So he's coming straight back to ensure that the defensive end can't run that arc like we talked about earlier for the Eagles. You look at Brandon Brooks and what he's done. His style of play kind of matches Lane Johnson. So that's why that right is so strong. But then when Wisniewski came in, you just have just the nastiness. If you notice, when he came in, that's when that offensive line really started rolling. So it's been great what they've been able to do. They slide that protection to help Vaitai, but Vaitai did an excellent job in the NFC Championship on his own at times against Everson Griffin. So they've all just gelled as a unit and just continue to really play well. Obviously, the RPOs help them a lot too, because that causes some hesitation on the defensive line standpoint. I talked to Trey Flowers about that and how, at times he's caught in the bind because he's like, okay, I want to read run, but I don't want to, make sure that I don't allow a passing lane, get my hands up to knock the ball down. But then when you read pass, you don't want to evacuate your gap to let them run. So they've done a good job just schematically as well as coming together.
One thing I've been noticing, the more and more radio stuff hits that I've been doing and just talking to people here, you get a sense that people think the Eagles have a better roster?
Yeah, I get that sense. And I tell you what's crazy. You got Jason Witten and Emmitt Smith picking the Cowboys. Picking the Eagles. Cowboys players picking the Eagles.
I did Dallas radio this morning, and both the guys said they thought the Eagles were the better team.
Amani Toomer yesterday said.
Amani Toomer said, I hate to do it, but I have to pick the Eagles.
They are the better team, and that's the thing. You got a team going against an individual, right? That's really what it is, going against a quarterback, a tight end, and a coach. I think overall that team is a better team, top to bottom. Their roster's better.
They're missing a lot.
And they're missing a lot.
Yeah,
so we
amazing.
could be back here in Atlanta next year. Who knows?
Hopefully it's warmer.
Yeah.
Turron, when you look at it, I saw a stat today. The Eagles have given up, 4-point-some yards per play when the opponent huddles, and it's something like 7-point-something yards per play when the opponent goes no huddle. Obviously, Schwartz likes to rotate in defensive linemen and things like that. Do you expect, obviously, Belichick has probably seen that kind of stat. Do you think we might see more no huddle out of the Patriots to try to combat that?
I think you will. I mean, just looking at that stat, I think you will see more of it. But I think what they'll also try to do is condense their rotation of defensive tackles. Fletch is going to play a lot of snaps.
You got nothing else to play after this.
Exactly.
Speaking of playing a lot of snaps real quick, we talked to one of the Patriots beat guys, and he said he thinks James Harrison plays 30 to 40 snaps. Is that something that's surprising? And if so, are you concerned with Harrison against Vaitai?
I'm not.
I mean, that's a difference. That's a change. That's a big difference in what their defense has been all year, to unleash him and say, there's one game. Give me your best 30 to 40.
You know the area where you have to be concerned in that matchup is because I stood next to James Harrison. He's barely 6 feet. I don't care what he's listed. So you have a smaller pass rusher going against a guy who's taller like that and a guy who's naturally stronger also. If he could get up underneath Vaitai, he could really easily drive him back, and they can't have that pressure. So it's something to be concerned about, but, it's all about having your tight end chip, having your running backs, help out. That's what they're going to have to do. Obviously, Harrison has plenty left in the tank after pretty much just, mopping up PNC Park, at Heinz Field while he was with the Steelers.
Turron Davenport, USA Today, Eagles Wire. I know you guys have all your staff predictions out. The final staff prediction right here on the Sports Bash from you.
27-20 Eagles.
That's my score.
And I tell you what, I will be jaw to the ground shocked if they lose this game. Really.
Wow.
I think just in watching that, there's so many
McMullen
ways.
looks at you like, are you nuts?
Hey, look, I'm just speaking the truth, man. I just speak what I feel is the truth. You look at matchups, right? Nelson Aguilar against
and I got to
Eric Rowe.
give my man credit. Turron has been on the Aguilars even last year. He said He has a talent. Give him a shot, and he has really been the X factor of the whole season almost. And it happened in the first week, the first score of the year. That young man's confidence changed, and you were on him as people wanted to throw him outside of the -8-degree temperature.
Yeah, well, Turron played the position in college, so he's got his beat on receivers. And we talked all offseason about how improved Nelson Aguilar looked in OTAs and training camp. Nobody believed us.
Nope.
Right,
and
right.
said,
But he was saying it last year.
Yeah.
Last year, I remember all the time, and people would text in, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and here we are a year later.
It was obviously a confidence issue with
Right.
Nelson. The physical gifts were always there, and he got over the hump. Got to give him credit for that.
Turron, thanks all season, man.
No problem. I appreciate it.